Chapter 22, Tale. Today a schoolboy, tomorrow a soldier. Just like that. I can hardly believe how it happened, but at the same time, I remember every last thing. It starts out like any other day, working at the airfield as usual. In the late afternoon, all of us line up to turn in our spades. A military policeman stands by the tool shed, talking to the officer in charge of the airfield. Both of them are looking at me. My stomach lurches a little. One of the guards takes my spade from me and tells me to report to the officer, who tells me to go with the policeman. The policeman has a car. He waves at me to get in on the passenger side, starts the engine, and drives us off toward town. I can hardly believe it, me riding in a car. I'm surprised by how bumpy it is. I imagined it would be smoother, but we're going so fast. We zip past my classmates, lining up again to march back to school. Their mouths hang wide open when they see me. While I'm in the car, I almost forget that feeling in my stomach. My elbow is on the edge of the open window, so I can stick my hand out, the wind blowing through my fingers. But when we arrive at the police station, the bad feeling comes back, twice as strong. The policeman takes me to a room and leaves me there, a table and 2 chairs, one small window with bars. I don't know if I'm supposed to sit down, so I stay standing, wondering why I'm there and getting more nervous all the time. It's the military police. It can't be anything good. Finally, 2 cops come in. The one who drove me and an officer, tall for a Japanese, with bars and badges on his uniform. The driver stands by the door. The officer sits at the table and points to the other chair. So I sit down across from him. I'm glad to sit. The funny feeling in my stomach is making my knees wobble a little. The officer starts to talk. At first, he sounds just like my teachers, or the principal at our school, how much Japan does for Korea. Roads, factories, schools, how Korea is such an important part of the empire, how most of its citizens are grateful for the divine leadership of the emperor. At last, he gets to the point, and I'm there ahead of him. I know exactly what he's going to say. I'm still scared, but at least I'm not surprised. A few citizens have proved to be less than grateful, he says. They are liars and cowards who slander His Divine Majesty's imperial presence in this country. There are only a few of them, but their voices are like the rotten spot on an apple. If they are not stopped, the rot will spread. Uncle, he's talking about uncle. Your uncle is among them, he continues. I feel a flash of satisfaction knowing I guessed right. Stay one step ahead of him. That's what I have to do, but I can't guess what he'll say next. And I'm afraid for Uncle. Don't let him see how you feel. I warned myself. So I keep my face steady, my eyes on his hands on the tabletop. He has them clasped together. They look strong with big knuckles. I never thought before that even hands can look cruel. He's still speaking. He's obviously a very intelligent man, your uncle. A man who loves his country. A smile like he's my friend. We need men like him in our fight against the white devils. We think he would find it most rewarding to use his skills and talents on behalf of the emperor. Inside myself, I almost laugh. Uncle working for the emperor. The officer doesn't know what a funny thing he just said. He waits a moment, like he wants me to say something. I don't, so he goes on. At present, your uncle is, you might say, a problem for us. We wish him no harm. We wish only for a chance to speak with him, to help him see how his slanderous activities hurt progress and success in this country. Then he furrows his brow and gives his fake sigh. Unfortunately, not all of my colleagues admire your uncle as I do, he says, his voice full of regret. There are those who feel it would be better to simply eliminate him. They do not agree with my assessment that perhaps he can be re-educated. Now he leans forward a little, like he's sharing a secret with me. I have managed to convince them to give me a chance, to bring in your uncle so we can speak with him. If this does not work, he stops, doesn't need to finish the sentence. That is why I have invited you here today, he goes on. Invited me? He's being funny again, like I had a choice. I am in need of your assistance. Your uncle would hardly trust a message from me and my colleagues. But if you were to convince him to come speak with us and give him my word that he would not be harmed, well, you are his nephew. He would trust you. He leans forward even farther and lowers his voice. We have ways that a message might be delivered. With luck, it would reach him and enable us to set up a meeting. With you first, of course, and then you would bring him to us. He's done talking. He leans back and waits for me to say something. How long does it take for 100 thoughts to go through your brain? Less than a second? A second and a half? You would bring him to us. What a lie. They'd be waiting to arrest Uncle as soon as he came to meet me. I'll never help them do it. Not in 1,000 years. But I can't let this officer know what I'm really thinking or feeling. Anger. Such anger that he called Uncle, the bravest man I know, a coward. I have to find a way not to do it, but he's not really asking me. He's telling me. It's a command, something I can't refuse, something I have to do. They're doing it again, taking whatever they want. Grandfather's hair, Ammoni's jewelry, Sonny's diary, my bicycle, and we can't do anything to stop them. Now it's Uncle they want, and they want me to stand there and do nothing again. This time, I have to do something. But what can I do? By myself? Against an officer and his men? Against the whole military police force? Against the whole government? Really? They can make me do anything. Take me from the airfield, from our home, even from my bed at night. Alas, I'm not there. What about that? What if they couldn't find me? I can't just run away. Where would I go? And besides, they'll probably catch me before I even leave town. All those thoughts in so little time. I'd bowed my head when the officer stopped speaking, like I was ashamed of Uncle, just to buy a few more seconds before I have to say something. Head down, thinking. Leaving town. How would I go? On a train? Sungwon's brother left on a train. And in that instant, the words come easily. Sir, I'm honored that you should ask for my assistance. My uncle's absence has indeed caused my family much concern. However, I regret that I cannot be of help to you. I must tell you that I have volunteered to be part of His Majesty's Imperial Forces. I leave tomorrow to do my part in battle for His divine cause. I don't know what I'm going to say before I say it. It's almost like someone else has spoken. It doesn't even feel like I'm lying. Before, whenever I lied, I felt uncomfortable inside, knowing I wasn't telling the truth. But this time is different. It's more like acting, becoming someone else, talking in a voice that isn't mine. I'm surprised at how easy it is. This is how Uncle did it in his shop. Acted friendly toward the Japanese when all the while he was working against them. The officer's face looks as surprised as I feel, then upset, disappointed that his plan isn't going to work, but only for an instant. He has to act pleased that I volunteered for the army. He congratulates me on my excellent choice and blathers on about the army for a little while. Finally, he dismisses me. I go straight to the army enlistment office. On the way, I think it's almost funny. Both of us acting. Him like he really wanted to help Uncle, me like I really wanted to help him. I register my age as 18. It's not a complete lie because of the way we count our age, which is different from the way the Japanese count. Koreans are 1 as soon as we're born. Korean style, I really am 18. I tell them I want to enlist immediately. No one asks any questions. The Japanese army needs men desperately. They are taking almost anyone who volunteers. A physical exam, then instructions to report to the train station the next day. I walk away slowly. Each step brings me closer to home, to the moment when I'll have to tell my family. Everything is so inside out. I believe in Uncle and in the things he believes in. I do anything not to betray him, anything, even join the army of his sworn enemy. I think of all this again, there in the garden with Sunny. Then I take a deep breath and start to tell her about it.